if we find the opportunity. So that's it, guys. Let's go into this. We have got Bunny and Impact in this TVZ best of 3 in the round of 8, the quarterfinals of the Olimoleague number 81. So the winner of this goes up against Dark in the round of 4. On the other side of the bracket, Alive and Beyond are tied up 1 apiece, and Classic and Creator are in game as well in a PvP to see who plays against either Alive or against Beyond. So we set up into this, and we'll be having a look to see how this goes. The bottom left side is our Red Zerg playing the ZvT series. Give it up, guys, if you're going to cheer on Impact. Impact's been doing pretty well for himself lately. He's been doing well online, been playing a lot, and has been playing a lot of these online events as well. So great to see Impact still around. Never forget his run at, was it DreamHack Valencia in I want to say 2013, but I'm not sure if that's correct. And actually, I don't even know if it was Valencia. I'm gonna actually look it up, because you know what? I like looking things up. I like knowing facts. Top right side of the map, our blue Terran player is gonna be Bunny. Alright. The microphone Montian, thank you for the sub, by the way, earlier. I know I didn't say thank you at the right time, but thank you very much for subscribing. It's a blue, this is a blue snowball. This is a blue snowball. I also have a blue Yeti as well, which is what I usually use, but I actually took that to the office for certain kind of casts and stuff, for where I didn't want to use my headset. So that's not actually here right now, so I'm just using the blue snowball today. Which is fine. It's good. I mean, it's good enough. It's just the other ones have some better quality and so on, which is, I mean, it's nice, but it's not essential. You know, this gets me by. You know, this is enough. Oh wow, was it 2014 Bucharest. You know, I was thinking it was maybe Bucharest rather than Valencia. I had a feeling that it wasn't Valencia. Valencia that year was run by someone else, wasn't it? So Impact second place, DreamHack Bucharest. Never forget that run. Meets Life in the finals. And then Life is just like, yeah, dude, I'm really good at this game. And Impact is like, oh. Oh. Did you have to? Did you have to? Yeah, 2014 Valencia. Let me have a look. By the way, openings here are just going to be a 2-1-1 out of Bunny, so he's looking to get into stim and bio-based play from the very early stages. Across the map, just link speed on the way up, and well, Impact, he takes the outside hatchery. It's a bit more normal in TVZ, or ZvT I should say, because you can get your creep spread out on the map a lot faster. It's not under as much of a threat as in, say, ZvZ, which is what we saw between Sue and Dark. Yeah, that was it. DreamHack Valencia that year was won by Saxby. That's who I was thinking of as well. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I remember that. That was a 2014, what a great year for StarCraft. So many interesting kind of results that year. So many champions who you maybe didn't quite expect or anything. As you can see, this Reaper is continuing to move up towards the upper right hand side. Bunny just pulling this back right here is, I mean, it's interesting. The gas pool first, but then obviously it's Proxima Station, so it's not as though you have to worry about a couple of lings coming across the map and delaying your CC, because your CC is is on an in-base natural. So there's no real concern of that. Pulls the Reaper back now anyways. We'll just keep it alive. Where did it actually go? Oh, there it is. Came all the way back and then heads back on the map again. So just checking around. As obviously, what we're going to be seeing here from Bunny is we're going to be seeing him lifting up about 16 Marines in the near future, and he's going to head across the map with them. And he's looking to see what he can do. And again, Impact will generally be aiming to defend this initially with, Ling Queen. And after the Ling Queen, he'll hopefully have a Bane nest ready so that he can get some Banes ready to go and some Banelings into play as well. Now, good to see the double extractor taken from Impact on the natural expansion. Third hatchery is coming up as well, 60-70% of the way done, which means that he's on the free bases at a pretty reasonable timing. There's nothing surprising about it. It's more or less what we expect to see for the ZvT. And behind it, though, a Lair and a Roach-Warren, and that is a bit different. Impact not going to be playing a Ling-Bane playstyle. He's going to be playing a Roach-based playstyle here today. And that is something we have not seen so much of as of late in the TVZ. This matchup really has been about Ling-Bane into Muta, and on the rare occasion, Ling-Bane into Fast Ultras once again. But we've definitely not been seeing Roach-based playstyles all too frequently. It's still something that happens. It's not like this is, oh my god, what's he doing? But it is something that's a little bit less common than it used to be. As we do see these first two medevacs pulling down. I'm going to go in towards the main base in the next few moments here. The Evo Chamber finishing up. The Lair about to finish as well. And these few Roaches from Impact coming out of the main base and just looking to see where they can go, and obviously they want to try and get in the right position to deal with these medevacs. So they do start to unload, sees the Queen and a few roaches in position though, and Bunny just instantly lifts on up and backs away. Does not waste any time at all, so he backs away already here. There's going to see a couple more engineering bays on the way down, and that's just going to be Bunny going up in towards, well, the 3cc of double engineering bay is going to have a good solid mid game to follow up into. There's one more medevac comes across, and we'll see if this one medevac makes the difference. With a siege tank inside as well, actually, so it is an interesting little addition here. Don't usually see the siege tank this early on, and I'm not sure what Bunny saw to maybe recognize that he wants to build a siege tank. I don't think he saw anything in particular, actually, so that's interesting. Let's say at the same time a link drop into the main base, and this is very intriguing too, because that's something you don't oftentimes see. So here we go, Lings run on in towards this mineral line. And they're going to start working their way through a few of these SCVs, and there's nothing really at home to defend this. A Viking here now. This is going to be Bunny losing quite a few of these workers. 4, 5, 6 of them killed. So 6 workers going down. We now see this drop coming in the natural expansion. If some Marines will start to stim on forwards, this tank in the back is firing away at the hatchery. And Overlord does pop on up. So Overlord pops out of there, and again a few of these Broodlings are going to start getting cleaned up as well. And the hatchery will just be rebuilt pretty swiftly. But that's a nice little drop from Bunny. I mean, picks off a little bit, does a bit of damage. I mean, picks off the expansion. It's a huge deal. I mean, it's quite nice for Bunny. I mean, he's basically done not game and damage, but it puts him into a great position here. I mean, down a base, Impact is going to struggle with production, with income, and now the siege tank. I mean, now I can see why Bunny made the siege tank. Look at these positions he's using. Ravagers are here though, and they can cross about that tank to get rid of it. Might be time to just unsiege it nice and quick, as he's actually going to load up, go back towards the natural expansion. Bunny really knows what's going on here. He knows what he's playing. He knows the map very well, apparently, and he knows all the different ways in which he can get into positions which help him to really just progress in this game. Coming in, targeting down this hatchery. I think it's going to be a cancel once again. It's getting low, and actually, no, even the cancel is just a kill. Once more, it's another 300 minerals down the drain from Impact. And again, that was looking okay for him, going into his roach-based playstyle and all the rest. This is very quickly becoming disastrous for him. Now still on 2 bases, actually double expanding to his 4th base and natural once again at the same time. This time it's going to be that gold base coming up at the front. Now he can get rid of those rocks to make that a bit more accessible. That's a problem as well. Right now Bunny is distracting Impact so much that the 4th base is really not in an easy position to defend, because until those rocks are down, is a long way to loop around and get into position there. Looks like the rocks will fall though, and so Impact will give himself access to that base, which is obviously a big positive. So see the +1 missile attack coming in from Impact 2. We're going to see the +2 weapon upgrade starting as well as concussive shells coming up to being about halfway done. So, I mean, back at home basically, Bunny is just going into all of his own upgrades, continuing on. Impact stabilizing a little bit, getting his own missile upgrade up so he can hit 1-1 of his own. As his gold base finishes up, his hatchery back in the back here. It's in the natural position, but it's its 3rd base, so it doesn't really matter what we call it, I suppose. But yeah, it's going to be finishing once again. As Bunny moves on to the map, 59 to 71 army supply. But it is a roach-based composition, and there's not that many Ravagers introduced into this roach-based composition from Impact just yet. So it is one of those comps which you have to imagine that Bunny's in a pretty good position against, being only 10 supply down against such a supply-heavy composition. Definitely something which looks pretty good for him, as we're going to see this medevac moving away to the side. We see roaches and Ravagers pushing forwards. There goes a Marauder, picked off here right away. And a few more Marines, a few siege tanks pushing out in towards the center of the map as well. So they'll pull into the center, and you're going to see this Viking picking off the Overseer here. And still just continue to push on onto the map. I mean, Bunny, is he going to hit like any sort of upgrade time, or is he just going to go with these siege tanks? He might just leave the tanks. I guess he could siege up here and it would sort of reach down there, right? Yeah, so it's again another position he can push into. This map is so good for Terran, Jesus. I didn't realize all these different positions you could use. We see corrosive piles going up, and actually, well, roaches and Ravagers are all going to get rid of those tanks very quickly. Impact fights against this very nicely indeed. I mean, those tanks were very far forward, and that definitely didn't help up too much, as we're going to be seeing the well, medevac's loading up once again, and I guess Bunny's just going to keep on trying to drop. I mean, drops will be one thing which is very effective against this roach army. With Tunnel and Claws in game, that's going to be a pop-up, and this is going to be some dead siege tanks over here, and this is going to be a nice trade from Impact once again, as he has units going to the main base. These medevacs have to relocate. They're just going to drop back to the gold. Still a lot of different kind of, positions you can, routes you can take with the drops to relocate and to very quickly create new opportunities. We do see one medevac is just not going down. It's on, what, 1 HP? 1 HP medevac stays alive, gets away. Roach is pushing out the front, trying to pick off reinforcements. Marauder goes down very quickly. We'll pull away and we'll see those medevacs return back home at the same time. Impact, despite losing his bases earlier, he's taken some good fights and he's staying at about a 20 supply advantage. Upgrades are starting to even out. Yeah, I guess it'll be a Terran upgrade lead for a little while here. The Hive about to finish though, and Infest is coming into play. Impact is hitting this later stage of the game, which is always going to be great for a Zerg player when you get those extra few units in and ready to go. As we see Marines and Marauder siege tanks working their way through these rocks. The Terran player now thinking about his 4th base on that gold as well. So he wants to move into that location. He scans, he sees the Hive building. You even see the Hive finishing if he's still watching, which is great information too. It gives him a perfect timing as to when an Ultras cavern will be finished, as to when Ultras will be on the map, as to the fact that free might be starting soon as well. So he'll know so many more things now. That's always worthwhile. As we're going to be seeing these units move out. I'm just going to be seeing these few medevacs looking to see where they can go. So they're going to be dropping off down to the far left-hand side. We see Roaches, Ravagers, a few Banes. These Burrowed Infestors too in the center of the map. And this is a big drop, and it's again the drops from Bunny, which he's never given up on. I mean, he's actually not had the best of luck with them. He's not been doing major damage with them either. But he's never given up on them. And when I say major damage, he did kill off the natural expansion twice. But since then, I mean, he's had drops which haven't been successful. But it's the consistency of doing these drops again and again that really works out very nicely for him, as we see 3 medevacs pulling on over to the left-hand side. They go down in towards the natural expansion here in the next few moments. Ultras Cavern will be finishing it as well. Adrenal Glands over halfway done. +1 melee about to finish as well, as that Zergling does go down. And still Lingers, Roaches, Ravagers sat in towards the center of the map. Siege tanks here spreading out a little bit as well. And the Bunny still just holding his high ground position, which I still feel is very hard for Impact to break. But of course, as long as he's only holding the mid-map, it's kind of okay, because Impact just says, cool, well, I'm building up my Ultras and all the other units, nice and slowly, but they're coming into play while you're just sitting in the middle of the map not making any real progress at all. This triple drop is not really doing much either. The fact that he knows about it means he's just on top of it all of the time, and he's getting here very quickly to respond with Zerglings and all the rest. The lack of a +2 melee upgrade, I guess, is hurting him when it comes to these, but Queens actually pick off 1 medevac, and again, it's not exactly a pretty sight, this medevac as a Bunny, because he is losing quite a lot of them, and still not even really doing that much more. Tanks going in siege, and again, just pushing a little bit further forwards. A couple more tanks sieging up, and still looking to see what else they can do. 2 more towards the front, and Scan coming down. Another Kryptonian gets popped. Fungal Growth lands on the siege tank here, and Corrosive Bowels will go down. And those units do spread themselves out a little bit, and Roaches, Ravagers, the Ultra looking to move on forwards. Marines and Marauders continue to unload once again as well, as these Zerglings not able to do too much else, as we see the Queens helping to push those medevacs away. So medevacs getting pushed back here, and still looking to push on forwards. The 4th base still up. At the same time, across the map, I think that was a bit of a Baneling bust or something. I'm not even sure what's going on over there. Ling's trying to run by the right-hand side as well, trying to get in towards the natural expansion. Here we go, a bit of a concave coming in, and a combination of Infested Terran and Fungal Growth coming down from the Infestor. Queen's transfusing up what they can. Obviously, the Ultras, if they get transfused, it will feel like they barely ever die. However, the first one does start to go down now as well. The Queens are just too far away from the rest of this fight, and Impact's army is disappearing. He has money to rebuild, but well, he's rebuilding Ultras, and they're going to take a very long time to come out, and that's a good 30-40 seconds, which Bunny has to pick off this base here, and to go in so many different locations as well. It still drops around the map, finally getting cleaned on up, but it's Bunny who has come out of this solidly, I think. I mean, that turned out very well for him. These Lings in the back might be a bit of a nuisance towards the expansion here, but apart from that, Bunny's still looking good, still has the units. I mean, 7 more Ultras about to pop. When they're in the game, I mean, Impact will once again have a sturdy army and can maybe use that to his advantage, but losing another couple Queens, that's less transfused as he now has for the Ultras as well. And these units pulling back in towards the center of the map once more. Still some Zerglings looking around, see what they can do. They get taken down by the Marines and Marauders in the natural expansion, so Marines and Marauders taking down the Zerglings over here. You're going to see Ultras continuing to gather in the left center of the map, and here we go. This main army now from Bunny pushes on up and looks to see what he can get done. Couple tanks sieged up in a forward location, and I mean, Bunny's still playing this nicely and just continue to harass. The fact he's got Liberators now as well, that's just going to help him even further. As the Zerglings run in, they disappear very quickly. Ultras taking a lot of damage too, although eventually this bio army is going to get surrounded, and Ultras are still around. Picks off one of them here in a moment. There it is, it goes down. So one Ultra falls, and the other Ultra is just going to go down very shortly here as well, I think. So Ultras continue to drop, and the next Ultra also going to be taken down in the next couple of moments. So good damage all said and done. as we are going to be seeing a few Marines and Marauders from Bunny still in the center of the map and pushing forwards once again, going to try to get rid of that Ultralisk, and there it goes. Ultralisk gets taken down. Just continue to come into the center of the map. We see a scan coming down, and we're just going to be seeing him, you know, again assessing the situation, figuring out where the bases are. There's a base down here Bunny doesn't know about though. And to be fair, Impact, now that he's got extra Ultras up, he's making a very good job of this, and he's still fighting. He's going to force a lift up here. I mean, a Fungal Growth would have worked wonders at that point if he had some Ravagers left still as well, I guess. There's no real anti-air, I guess, in the army anymore of Bunny, of Impact, sorry, and that might hurt him against these Medivacs, but also against the Liberators, which might come back into play to help against these Ultralisks. 2 more Infestors will definitely help lock this army in position. All of a sudden, these Ultras can connect and they can do so much damage. Triple Medivac drop loads up once again, straight to the main base, sighted instantly though by Impact, and so instead it just pulls off to the side, doesn't actually go towards the main. Bunny still, with free upgrades, continuing to pressure forwards. There is a lacking melee upgrade here from Impact, but he does have all of his armor upgrades, which definitely helps these Ultras. As Infested does drop the Fungal Growth, gets taken down. At least he got the Fungal down. It allows this engagement to begin, and, well, Impact, his problem is that the Ultras are so low that a lot of them will go down very quickly. Nice Blinding Cloud actually messes with the stutter stepping off the Terran player. He didn't expect that to happen, so the Ultras got a few extra shots off as very low on health. The Ultras pulling away once more. I mean, it's crazy how low health some of these Ultras are at this point, as Medivac's coming back up to the top side, looking to see where he can go next. So he's going to come around the top, and, well, Marines and Marauders still setting up in the center. 2 more Liberators joined up as well. I'm just going to be seeing, and they have another couple of Ultras, Ravagers, and Corruptors all coming into play in the next couple of moments. Marauders 7-4s, they find the Infestor, which is burrowed as well with the scan, and that's so frustrating because for Bunny, he needs those Infestors to help him out so much in these engagements. Triple drop to the left side once more, and Ultras and Marines will have to come and deal with this. And hey, they clean it up quite quickly, but not quickly enough, as that hatchery does indeed fall once again. Still the base to the south side, given impacts of income, which I really don't think Bunny knows about. If he'd known about it, that base would have been dead a long time ago, but it is really here, just keeping impact in this game. Left hand side, Corruptor's picking off 1 Medivac. They're going to have to be careful as well as they continue to move around. So many Marauders, so many Marines from Bunny. Still just sat over to the left side at this point as, well, here we go again. A couple more Liberators firing away. And these Marines and Marauders getting ready to stem forwards once again. Picking off a couple of creep tumors, and here we go. The Ultras running in. Fungal Growth goes down. It's a really nice Fungal, but there's so many Liberators in the sky that these Ultras are just getting massacred before they can, well, I mean, they are cleaning up on the ground, but they're also just dying at the same time, and so much damage done by the Liberators, which eventually will be taken down, but way too much lost here from Impact, and Bunny will take game number 1 of this best of 3 series in the round of 8 of the Olimoleague. We're on the loading screen, so Cactus Valley will be our second map. Honestly, I can see this going either way still, because Impact, he fell behind early but still made such a game out of it. Now imagine he gets into the mid game without any issues. It's kind of a little bit crazy. Kind of a little bit crazy. Let's see what happens. If Impact can get a better start, maybe he can make this work out for him. So we go in game, and to the bottom right hand side we'll be starting with the Red Zerg player, who is down by 1 in this best of 3 round of 8 matchup. It is Impact. And to the top right hand side, the blue Terran player from Just Gaming, it is Bunny. Crank saving the day with the score being given in the chat. A true hero. Let's see what the builds are going to be. Obviously, Bunny last game opens with that 2-1-1. Obviously had intentions of how he wanted to use it. You could see the way in which he started to use that tank and to drop the tank around. He had a full, you know, he 100% knew exactly what he was doing. He knew what was going on. And it went very well for him because of it. So, as I've been just going to see SCV continue build here from Bunny. Going to be popping out in a moment. We'll see the spawning pool about 75% of the way done. So, Impact just going, again, kind of pool, gas hatch at the start of the game. So, bit of a different one. Again, just getting the pool out early. See if it's going to work out from here on Cactus Valley as the first things will come out, and obviously I guess we'll be hoping to try and delay the CC to some extent if he can find it early on, and Well, I say if he can find it, he's going to see the SCV top right, so he is going to see where his opponent is. And he'll be sending those Zerglings up there very, very early. We'll see where Bunny sends his Reaper, see if it's going to be able to intercept any Zerglings, see if it's going to leave it at home perhaps to kind of wait for the Zerglings to come across. Most likely he probably does send it out on the map though, I think, especially on Cactus Valley. So it's going to go quite nicely for Impact in the early stages. I mean, slowing down the CC doesn't end the game, but it puts you, it's just a small lead to work with. It gets in your opponent's mind as well. I think that's one thing that happens with me especially, and I know a lot of other people. You know, something small goes wrong at the start of the game, and already your opponent's in your head a little bit. They're like, aha, you know, every little thing is going my way. What are you going to do about that? You know, the odds are against you. Obviously, these pro players maybe don't get affected by that as much, but it's still worth kind of keeping in mind that it's something which may go through their heads. As well, there is a Marine here actually built after the Reaper, which is a bit different. So he goes factory very quickly, then into the reactors. These two Zerglings will try and get away. Reaper coming back to try and intercept though, and he has the speed on this Reaper to be able to catch them, so he's going to be able to get one. Does he see the other one? He did see it pull off to the right-hand side, and so both Zerglings get shut down. That's nice, doesn't lose anything. You know, the Marine takes a little bit of damage. It's a nice way for Bunny to set up to help be able to just, you know, make sure he's going to have enough to fight against this. The faster factory coming up, we are expecting a Hellion-based opening, and with the double gas down, a starport is a very likely follow-up too, which is what we're seeing. As the barracks moves away, but what are the options? Probably a Tech Lab and probably Cloak Banshee is the most common way to go about this. Now and then we've seen a couple players messing around with Ravens as of late, even in TVZ, although it is probably the least common matchup to see the Ravens in. So we're probably not going to see that. Probably is just going to be Cloak Banshee combined with the Hellions, maybe a Hellbat based attack. And Bunny may even want to play mech here. Actually, think back to last week, if I'm not mistaken, Bunny against Dark in the WardiTV weekly Season 1 finals qualifiers. He was playing mech on this map against Dark, so it is something we could see here right now. It's a great way to change things up as well, obviously. To come out of one game playing Bio and to play mech in the next, it just keeps your opponent on their on their toes, and whatever they feel as though they might have learned in game number 1, they're not going to be able to apply. Like, oh wow, I found out your weakness when you're playing Bio. I figured out that this worked out and this didn't. And then all of a sudden, it's mech, and you know, in game 2 you're like, oh well, that doesn't, you know, playing against mech doesn't mean that I've learned anything from game number 1. Now I'm going to be seeing the couple of meta mines in this medevac moving down the right hand side, and so I'm going to see what else is going on. A couple of Hellions and a couple of meta mines towards the main base. They're going to start dropping on in here and looking to see what they can do. So pushing forward. It's actually, sorry, I thought there's 2 Widow Mines in this. Am I blind? Am I silly? Okay, I think I'm just going crazy. It's just 4 Hellions. I don't know why I thought there's 2 Widow Mines in there. I actually have absolutely no idea. It's a little bit weird. That's my mind playing tricks on me. See some Hellions at the front as well, which actually did a pretty good job cleaning up some Zerglings initially. It's actually kind of a little bit scary, because right now there's only Zerglings being made. There is Queens. This incoming Hellbat attack could be pretty powerful, and he's actually looking to maybe take it in towards the main base here. Hellions going to try and dive forwards once again. We'll morph them into Hellbats. Is he going to lift up more? What exactly is the plan? He's just leaving these Hellbats on their own. They will fight against these Lings and Queens. I'm not sure if I like this. Like, this was a bit of a weird one, like splitting up everything. Why split up everything when you could just fight with everything in one place, you know? And we've seen these Hellbats continue to push on forwards. We see a couple of Lings continue to run on in. Hellbats being healed on up, and looks as though those Lings will continue to drop. Banshee here as well as a grenade goes down. Queen gets picked off. A few drones going down too, and this is the problem. There's only Zerglings really here from Impact, and even the Queen is not having a great time because of the extra damage from the Banshee. Drops a Hellbat on the ramp to stop the Queen going up. Is that blocked? I don't think it's blocked. Surely you can keep on moving. I actually don't know. Either way, I mean, it's just more damage being done, and eventually here I think Impact just takes way too much damage. It's going to end up getting cleaned out as this Queen continues to pull back away in towards the main base. I'm just going to be seeing the Queen sat in between the Extractor and this one called GG. Bunny will take game number 2. He's going to close